In the afterglow of the U.S. women's national team claiming that World Cup, had the chance to catch up with soccer legend Abby Wambach for a really interesting talk. Here it is. All right, Abby, thank you so much for being here. And we're just talking about this. What a really cool honor it is to just meet all these young people, Gatorade Athlete of the Year nominees, giving us a very bright look at hopefully our future.
Yeah, I think that Gatorade creates an environment not only for us old folk and retired folk to meet the next generation of bad ASS kids out in the world, but it also is an opportunity to celebrate what these kids have done so far. And it's so cool to see how much further ahead they are now than when I was their age. A really great group of kids. They're smart. And also, it's not just about what they do on the field. It's like what they do off the field that also matters. That's why this awards environment separates itself from so many others, and I'm proud to be a part of the Gatorade family and to experience this with these kids.
So we're a few days removed from the U.S. women's national team bringing home that amazing win, and there was this maybe unfair feeling of inevitability, and it was a tough tournament. What kind of pressure do you think that added to the team, that the expectation was to be the greatest on earth, when that's obviously a difficult thing to earn every 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, that's the expectation that we put on ourselves every 4 years. So there is no greater outside expectation, more so than the team's expectation of the performance that we want to accomplish. So to watch them define who they were in a unique way, because every team has to have their own identity. And I thought that this year's World Cup winning team and the way that they went about it was so inspiring. And, our world was more ready for a team that was unapologetic and confident and celebratory like these women were, and more power to them. Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, I will follow them into the sun if they started leading me there. And I think a lot of people felt this way. And I have to add, winning a World Cup is not easy. Though they made it look easy at times, there were some moments where we needed a little bit of luck on our side, and dare I say VAR, to take back a few goals from England and give us a penalty kick. There's so many factors. You need a little luck on our side, and I think that we had it.
Technology is one of those things we're navigating just as a society, certainly in sports. Do you like VAR? What is sort of your take on its impact, influence on the game?
Well, I like when the calls are correct. I think that the quickness of it all will have to get better. Too much downtime, too much stress from our perspective, sitting on the sidelines. And however they figure out how to use VAR in a more in a way that will keep the fluidity of the game going, I'm sure that they'll do that sooner than later. But of course, like any new thing, there's going to be some hiccups that we all experienced. And I don't know, you should ask one of the current players, because I wasn't there, I wasn't playing. It's frustrating though, because you don't know what's actually happening when you're not on the field. You don't even know what's happening when you're watching it on TV. And I went to a couple of games during the World Cup, and when you're there, you're like, what is going on? Why is there such a delay? So they'll figure it out.
So the women have won the World Cup. They have the best-selling Nike jersey, men or women's, in a one-year period in the history of soccer jerseys. Do you have any confidence that there's going to be a movement toward equity in payment for the women versus the men going forward?
Well, I think that if there was a case of public opinion, of course they've won it. I think that winning the World Cup gives them a leveraging point that will obviously tip in their favor. But at the end of the day, it's now in the hands of FIFA and the president, Carlos Cordero from U.S. Soccer, to make these things happen and make these women whole, because they've just done not only tremendous work to win this World Cup, but they did it in a fashion that we all can be proud of. And though U.S. Soccer made early investment on this team, you see the byproduct of that now. And you have to keep investing into the program in order for it to stay successful. The women did their job. Now it's U.S. Soccer's job to do theirs.
Last very, very quick question. We had this amazing moment. I have a 9-year-old daughter. We woke her up to watch the match, and when it was over and the ceremony happened and the fireworks happened, she turned to my wife and said, "Wow, they really do take women seriously." And I got really emotional for my wife and my daughter. What does it mean to you to be one of the people who are a part of that reality for young girls in this country who, in part, soccer is one of the places they can look, women's soccer, and say, you know what, there's some self-confidence that I take from this?
Yeah, I think that's part of when I say I'm doing this thing and we all collectively buy into doing this thing that's bigger than us. That's exactly what we're talking about. It's so hard to really pinpoint what that bigger thing is, and it's inspiring young kids. It's putting women in positions where, win for the women's national team is win for women everywhere, because it's almost like our women's national team is this litmus test of what's possible. And they're doing it under extreme circumstances where they haven't been given the same kind of resources that men have been given, that our men's team has been given, and yet they're still so successful. You can imagine what it could be if they were given the same resources. And for little girls, for people out there who are inspired by our women's team, let that bleed into your own life. It is possible for change to happen. And if you need the inspiration and you don't know where to look, our women's national team is for sure a landing spot.
Thank you for being here, and thank you to Gatorade. Thank you very much.